A keynote speaker who is going to engage your audience, that isn't just a nice to have, that is a must have in today's world. Look, there are two reasons people are coming to your events, and that is for the learning opportunities. They want great content. They want to be able to take notes, but they also want to be connected with other people. They want to network. They may not say that as much, but if they come to an event and do not engage, if it's not an engaging conference where all the people around them want to talk to them, they want to talk to others, if there's not just sort of a sense, a vibe of a connected conference, they're not going to come back next year. Let's face it, they can get learning anywhere. The internet is full of things in your industry where people can get information. However, your conference is special, and it is showing up and sharing experiences is how people can change their lives and change their careers. So I have 5 things that you need to be thinking about when you're looking for a speaker. And I'm going to be totally honest. I hope you're going to go to thomsinger.com and look at what I have to offer your conference. Because if I kick off your conference, all of these things are going to happen and it's going to be fun. But let's face it, I may not be who you're looking for. And that's awesome. I want to make sure that you're looking for these 5 things in whomever you hire. Number 1 is engaging interaction. The keynote speaker who speaks at your event can't just be up there lecturing. They can't just be doing a data dump onto the audience. If they're just going blah, 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 point, people aren't going to really care. It needs to be interactive. They have to have that opportunity to pause and to think. And one of the best things that can happen is that they get to talk to other people around them, both during the presentation, but even more important, during those hallway conversations that happen outside of the actual room where the speech took place. Everybody I talk to who goes to a conference says that the best part of the conference is those serendipitous hallway conversations. And so your speakers need to be working to make sure they're seeding the conversations that will happen outside of those doors. So that's the first thing you want to think about is the speaker engaging, and do they have parts where people are going to be able to be interactive with each other and with the speaker? If not, maybe that's not the right speaker for your event. The second thing is there has to be actionable content that is going to connect with people on a personal level. Is the speaker talking about things that this person cares about? They don't have to agree with it, and many people will never take the actions. But will they sit there and nod along? Will they take some notes? Is the content right for that audience? And sometimes people think, oh, really high-end technical content is what everybody wants. Even at a technical conference, you need to have some speakers that aren't just going to be all focused on the content and on the technical parts of your industry. There has to be some broader conversations that gets people to actually feel they're absorbing what's going on in the conference, and that content has to be able to touch them and inspire them. The third thing is you want networking that works at your conference. And when you have a speaker who is there to be a catalyst for the audience, to make sure that they're going to meet each other and they're going to have deep conversations, that will transform your whole business. Look, my whole belief is that we need to have more human interaction, HI, in our AI-driven world. Therefore, when your speakers are talking, they need to be talking to the people and they need to be encouraging people to be able to connect at the event. And this isn't just for the extroverts. The truth is, introverts are better networkers, but they need to be given permission to talk to people. They need to be given permission to realize that it's okay to enter a small group at this conference so that they can have those types of conversations. Don't leave the networking at your event to chance. Make sure that you have speakers that are promoting it. Number 4, especially for your opening keynote speaker, is you don't want just a speech. You want something that is going to kickstart the whole conference. Your first opening program has to be something that's big. It's got to have the right energy. It's got to set the vibe for the whole conference. I believe that all the speakers on your main stage and in your breakout sessions, they are who sets the vibe for your conference. And yet, most people, when they hire a speaker, only watch a 30-second, 60-second, or 90-second video and say, yep, that's who we want. No, you've got to really see, how is that person setting that tone, and will they kickstart this event? I pride myself in being an opening keynote speaker, although I can fit anywhere into the conference. But when I am the opening speaker, it will change the dynamic of the whole conference. It will get people out of their comfort zone and they will talk to more people than they ever have at your events in the past. Number 5 is that speaker has to be a trusted partner with the meeting planners, which means there has to be pre-calls. The speaker has to be willing to talk to people on the board of your association or people who work in different roles in your company. They just have to be willing to do the pre-work that's involved to be able to really connect with your audience. So you want to make sure that whoever you're choosing is willing to customize a little bit for you. If the speaker is too rigid in your pre-conversations before you ever hire them, if it's their way or the highway, they're not going to be fun to work with. So you want to find somebody who's going to work with you, who's going to be willing to twist it a little bit, who's going to be willing to stay longer than 4 minutes after they say, thank you very much. Let's face it, in the world we live in now, people don't ask as many questions from the audience. They don't line up to talk to the speaker. But if your speaker shows up at lunch and at the happy hour that night, people really like that because they like to have that much more casual way to connect with that speaker. If that's important to you, you have to set that up in advance before the contract is signed. And you're going to find a lot of speakers are going to push back when you want them to do something special. My belief is you should ask every speaker to sort of tweak a little bit, whether you really want them to or not, to see how easygoing they are to work with, because that'll tell you a lot about, am I picking the person who I want to work with, who's going to impact my audience, and who I will be referring to every other meeting planner I've ever met. So if you're looking for a keynote speaker who is going to engage your conference and make it the most engaging conference you've ever put on, I'd love to talk to you. But there are lots of speakers who you can find who are going to do that. But you have to tell them when you first call, I'm looking for something different. I'm looking for someone with great energy and the right vibe. And if you click with that speaker, hire them. If you don't click with them, move on to somebody else. There are tens of thousands of people who could speak at your conference. And so you've got to be willing to find the person who's going to make it work for you. Again, my name is Thom Singer. You can find information about me at thomsinger.com. But I hope that your conference is awesome, no matter who your speakers are. Have a great day. We'll see you on another video.